When did you realize your parents weren't actually good people? I used to think my parents were just tough, old-fashioned, strict, we only want what's best for you kind of people. But now I know they weren't being protective. They were being controlling. Growing up, I had rules for everything. How I dressed. Who I talked to. Even how I sat at the dinner table. If I spoke up, I was talking back. If I cried, I was being dramatic. And if I ever tried to explain how I felt, my mom would just sigh and say, "You should be grateful. We give you everything." So I learned to stay quiet. To make myself small enough not to start an argument. I told myself that's what good kids did, they didn't cause trouble. The first time I realized something wasn't right, I was 14. I'd studied for weeks for a math exam and came home proud of my 92%. I remember handing my dad the paper, smiling. He looked at it for 2 seconds and said, "Guess you're not as smart as you think you are." Then he laughed like it was a joke. But it didn't feel like one. Those comments kept coming, little digs that chipped away at me over time. And every time, if I got upset, I was told I was too sensitive. Fast forward to college. My first time away from home. And suddenly, I could breathe. No one commenting on what I wore, no one asking who I was texting, no one tracking me through the Find My Phone app every hour. It felt like freedom. But that's when the guilt calls started. If I missed one call, my mom would blow up my phone with messages like, "You don't care about your family anymore. We raised you, and this is how you repay us." And when I finally called back, she'd cry. Every single time. For months, I told myself they were just struggling to adjust. That maybe I was being unfair. But one night, my roommate overheard one of those calls. When I hung up, she looked at me and said quietly, "You know that's not normal, right?" It stopped me cold. Because deep down, I did know. I just didn't want to admit it. After that, I started noticing everything I'd ignored before. How my dad would rewrite memories to make himself the hero. How my mom would use guilt like a weapon, tears when I didn't agree, silence when I set boundaries. It wasn't love. It was control wrapped in guilt. The realization hurt more than I expected. Because when you finally see your parents clearly, you also have to face the fact that your childhood wasn't what you thought it was. It took therapy, distance, and a lot of crying in my car after phone calls. But eventually, I stopped apologizing for wanting peace. Now, when they call and start the guilt trip, I don't play along. I hang up, take a deep breath, and remind myself. I didn't leave to hurt them. I left to heal me. And that's when I finally understood. They didn't change when I grew up. I just stopped confusing fear with respect. And control with love.